All right, so I thought it was a good time to talk about Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, considering its recent transition from a live service to an offline app. So, got some pre recorded footage in the background. I guess there'll be spoilers for the room because I, as per usual, based my character off of Tommy Wiseau and wanted to take advantage of all the different accessory options, which I guess will spoil the ending a bit. But I do have to give Nintendo and everyone involved in this game some credit at least for ending it the right way. Granted, it could have been better in some regards. Like, I really don't get what they're necessarily doing with save data. I could be wrong, but the way I read it is that they're going to store it for 6 months and then clear everything. But then if you switch, devices and that you have to temporarily upload your save data for it to re-download on your new device. So that's just really weird. I don't get why they didn't just store all the save data. Like, I get needing an account linked, so you have a way to sort of, match up a user to that data. But I don't know. I just can't imagine it being that big of a deal for them to just hold on to it indefinitely for everyone. Or at least maybe link it to Nintendo Switch Online or something, where the rest of their cloud data is. Also, in general, I feel kind of bad for like anyone who dumped, a bunch of money on the fortune cookies or different monetization they had in the original game, or they had a couple subscription things too. There's people that are probably invested a lot more than the $10 to $20 they're asking for, who should have probably just gotten it for free. And how even some people just don't have the spare money lying around to potentially pick it up before their data gets cleared, who may have, been playing this for years and that's, I don't know what the right balance would be, but I think it would be cool if they would have still had a free version, but maybe lock the new currencies or something behind a full premium version. Like I said, I don't know if a lot of people would have upgraded in general if that was the case. There is kind of a balance you need to strike, but at the very least, you can still play the game, which is more than some games could say. And is something, other similar games should strive for at the end of their cycle. Funny enough, I've always played this game kind of on and off. Like, I'll play for a month or two, and then I'll take a break, and maybe I'll notice like a big update, and maybe, I'll come back, another one or two times throughout the year. And it's funny that the end of service announcement literally came the first day after I was coming back to, start playing again, and that kind of ironic. I think I played a little bit, but I wound up not playing as much. I was just going to wait for the complete version at that point. Overall, though, I did honestly really enjoy my time with this game. I feel like the Animal Crossing formula translated really well to mobile devices and having to deal with touch screens and, kind of a better, quick pick up and play and pause, formula. And I'm just doing a little tour of what I had set up at this point. But similar to Mario Kart, I felt like it also really expanded what you would normally get in terms of content from a mainline game in both items and even some features. Like, the one feature I really enjoyed about this game that I really hope mainline eventually incorporate a bit is the animal friendship levels, because you'll get, all sorts of different rewards, items, blueprints of items to craft, all those pictures you saw there in that room. I feel like there's a lot of potential too. Like when I think of mainline, like I would probably still have, kind of a casual mode closer to what New Horizons was with village customization, but I can imagine them doing some cool stuff with like maybe each resident kind of owns an area of land and you need to build up your friendship with them in order to terraform or place items within the land that they own. Or they can do like another system where maybe they link your house's room expansions to convincing other animal villagers to be your roommate. And then maybe they can incorporate something similar to the buddy system they have here where they'll, contribute different materials and bells to the household. And maybe they can have, really big items that you need roommates to help you craft or something. Like there's a lot of potential for them to, really go forward with it. In general, though, too, like a common complaint you'll hear from people who have played the series for a long time that I agree with is that villagers don't feel as important as they used to. Like, they used to have more interesting personalities, and I remember grinding through favors for all of them in the first game. And this kind of helps them feel a little more important. Like, they're probably more of a central focus in this game than in, honestly, maybe any other game in the series. Where it wasn't my cup of tea, I also really did like the memories feature where you'll craft, I forgot if it's one or if it's just a couple specific items, and then you'll get like a little cutscene with some of the villagers. And I didn't really find them to be too interesting. It was kind of villager has problem, other villagers help resolve problem. I mean, they're cute, but I just feel there's more potential to, I don't know, go more in depth or something if they were willing. And I don't think they're really going to go this way to go back to less super friendly personalities. I feel like that could be fun with the friendship level thing too, where you start to see them opening up and being nicer or whatever. If they do incorporate something like that, because you can't skip, but it still leaves a notification there until you play it for the memory cutscenes. So I wish there was a way to skip if you really just weren't interested in it, or you're just not gelling with the specific one or whatever. I feel like that should be an option because it's just not for everybody. But that was overall a step in the right direction. And actually, I think this is some of like the most different. Like you saw a bunch of villagers at my campsite and cabin, and they have a lot of different available just interactions to kind of watch with the different items you get. Like I kind of remember, the mainline games kind of being more as they'll kind of look at it with their hand on their chin, or maybe they'll express an emotion, like the same ones you can obtain throughout the game. But here, they'll use the items and that sort of thing now, which is pretty cool. It just makes things, feel a little more alive, fun to see the different ways. It would be fun too, like if in the future, if they were even able to have a couple different interactions for the different personality types and whatnot. Or even like if you get like a weird reaction or something from a bird villager if you have the bird cage item. Speaking of items, though, the one thing I was surprised that they didn't add as sort of a quality of life feature throughout all the support the game had, and I know this is something that mainline doesn't have either, but I don't like how you can't tell if you own an item or not when you go to like market and look to purchase things. I mean, when you go to crafting, you can see if you've already crafted it or have it in your inventory. I mean, some people might like it better that way, but at that point, just kind of make it a toggle. Like in this game, I didn't craft absolute everything, but it was like besides like the stuff you needed some of the premium materials for. And I think there was a couple golden items that I just never had enough money for, but I crafted everything else. Or I should say I will. I've still got, a handful of villager requested crafted items to take care of. But we're almost done there. And I don't know, for me it feels, rewarding to, see everything you're able to build, complete certain sets, and then they even eventually added, you already sent me through the one, it was like those happy home challenges or whatever, where you get extra material from being able to build rooms a certain way with all the furniture you have. I think that was a good system, although I think it could use a little less hand holding and a little, I don't know, maybe make it a little quicker. Because I didn't even realize I was about to go in and do even more of them right now. But yeah, even thinking about mainline, I mean, I could have imagined myself getting more mileage out of New Horizons if I was able to track what items in the Nooklings store I already had or didn't have. The one thing I felt like they did take from this game for New Horizons was the holiday system, which was one of the things I really wish they didn't take from this game, because I don't know, I felt like in the older games they were all kind of unique. Now they kind of turned them all into the same grind for special items deals, and I don't know if that ever improved in New Horizons. I didn't play long enough to experience all the holidays. I only did the first couple. I do want to eventually go back because I never played some of the later updates and that. But I don't know. I'm for maybe even extending the time frame of holidays and offering more rewards as incentive. But I would have rathered if they went more of a Tortimer Island approach with some, mini games to play with your villagers, or maybe online with other people. That sort of thing, I think, would be more of the direction to go. The only thing that really changed in complete for me is that I'm finally, thanks to, the new currencies and that, taking advantages of fortune cookies, which I just never got into. I didn't want to bother with, premium currencies and different, monetizations and that sort of thing. But here you get plenty. Like, I did a set of each of the available fortune cookies they have for this month, which they're going to be rotating every month. And I even, kind of doubled and tripled down on a couple of them that may have had an item I thought was cool. And I feel like I still have, plenty saved up for future months. I'm definitely motivated to play the game. I guess a little more consistency. I don't know if I'll be going in every day. I might eventually just kind of go down to, logging in weekly or monthly, getting the rewards and seeing what might be new at some point. And two, I don't know after I finish with certain things how plentiful, the different currencies or even some other items are going to wind up being. But I feel like I'm more than set up to sort of accomplish what I want to accomplish and sort of, collecting the items that I always had control over, and I'm not dealing with, the fortune cookie gotcha system or resources that just feel too limited. Or even if there is a limit and you still got plenty, I'll try to make it as far as I can with, say, the treats you saw me using there to get a new craftable item. Because I think another 5 levels on everyone and I get their pictures. So, hoping to at least put up, an acceptable chunk of that. But yeah, still a good time. And yikes, if you are coming in for the first time too, I mean, there's so much content too. It'll keep you occupied for a while when you need it.